One thing I've never understood is how people can say that they believe in a God or in a loving God, and yet they can allow suffering. Yet they can torture animals or ignore the torturing of animals. They can ignore the suffering of animals and other people. They can ignore most of what's going on around them, all for their personal benefit. As long as something serves them, they are okay with it. People are okay with things as long as it serves them. If the animal has to suffer and die so that way we can eat, we're okay with letting it suffer and die so that way we can eat. And then we make up all kinds of justifications. Animals kill animals. I thought we all had the realization that animals don't know any better and don't have a sense of morality to the same level that we do. I thought we all could acknowledge that animals have a different type of intelligence than we do. It's similar, but it's different. I thought that we could all understand that. We can understand that other people are different and have a different type of psychology or a different type of mentality than others. We can understand that. And sometimes we don't even understand that. But we can't understand that animals are mentally like children. So when you make an animal suffer, it's like making a child suffer. And we're supposed to be okay with this? I'm supposed to just nod my head and say, yeah, that's great. That's fine. Yeah, keep killing the animals, keep making them suffer. Like, why do you have to hunt for, right? Because your family needs to be fed. You could eat anything. Anything else. There are a ton of foods. There are plenty of foods for you to eat other than just eating animals that have suffered and died for your appetite. So you have apathy because of your appetite. You don't care because you want to be catered to. At your convenience, someone else can be chopped up. Something else can be killed. A chicken is nothing to you, but a dog is something to you. A cat is something to you, but a mouse is nothing to you. Pigs are nothing to you, but a horse is something to you. You do realize pigs are just as intelligent as cats and dogs. You do realize a mouse is just as intelligent as your horse. And like, why is it that we are ignoring the simple facts that we are being hypocrites? All because of our hubris. All because we want to turn off our morality. When we want to turn off our ethics when it's time to eat. Our morality ends when it's time to eat a meal. Our ethics end when it's time to eat. And our belief in God ends when it's time for us to get what we need, right? That's how I feel. I feel like we just let people run over people. We let people run over nature. But then they say contradictory things like, look at God's creation, it's so beautiful. Look at God's creation, it's so beautiful. You are causing it to suffer. If it was suffering on its own, that's one thing. Maybe you could say that's happening on its own. But when you are causing it to suffer, it's one thing for something to occur and you have no hand in it. It's another thing for something to occur and you participate in that chain of events. You may not be at the slaughterhouse. You may not be at the farm. You may not be working in the stores. You are a consumer, which means you still participate in the cycle. Killing animals for your needs and for your necessities is ridiculous when you don't need to, when it's not necessary. Because if this was a necessity, we wouldn't have had other ways to make clothing, for example. If you needed animals for clothing, why are there other ways to make clothing? You can make clothing using plants. You can make clothing using cotton. You can make clothing using polyester. You can make clothing using any type of material other than animals. Your diet, if you need protein, if you need fats, if you need any of the type of nutrients that you think you need, your vitamins and minerals, you can get all of that from plants. Let's acknowledge the reality. We're supposed to be primates, right? Primates are primarily herbivorous. You have many of them, multiple primates are omnivorous, but none of them are strictly carnivorous. None of them eat meat simply because well, they like to see other animals suffer or they have no other options. No, sometimes they eat meat because of scarcity. Gorillas, for example, they are primarily vegetarian. They are herbivorous. Why in the world do we look at the strongest and most physically inept primate and we want to be strong? We want to be, we feel like eating meat makes us strong and powerful, right? Like it increases our muscle mass. But then we see the strongest primate, and even orangutans and chimpanzees are stronger than us. Primates that are stronger than us, the great apes that are stronger than us, were vegetarian. They are vegetarian. If you want to look in the Bible and use that as an excuse, it says in Genesis chapter 1, it says that we would be vegetarians, to eat the seeds and to eat the herbs, right? We've ignored that. We just cancel out any of the good things that the Bible actually teaches us. And then we love to take all the things that mean nothing, or all the things that we use to try to tolerate and pacify other people, that for what? For what? You want to pacify behaviors, but you don't want to end suffering. Imagine that. You want to justify adultery. You want to justify addiction. You want to justify everything wrong with society, but you don't want to sit here and try to justify, ending suffering. You see kids starving all the time, and, your first thought is, why should I give up what I have for them? Your first thought should be, how much do I have to share? But that's not the average person's first thought. The average person's first thought is, well, I need this myself, so what is the issue? What is the issue here? If you believe in God and you believe, or if you believe that we are gods, if you believe in the gods, if you believe in anything spiritual, right? If you have any type of morality and ethical system within your mental facilities, what is it that is causing you to stop that is causing you to stop being rational when it comes to seeing suffering before you? What is causing you to continue to eat animals that have suffered and to hunt animals for no reason? Trophy hunting should not exist. It exists because humans are cruel. Civilizations can be very cruel. We are very nasty, disturbing, disgusting people. We do very abhorrent things. We are abusive. We are neglective. We are projective. We are deflective. We do all we can to make up for the ego, to protect the pride. Lose the ego. Stop killing and start healing. Start protecting. Why don't you want to protect something that is as innocent as, let's say, a rabbit, right? Can a rabbit hurt you? You can give me any excuse you want for a bear and a wolf and a coyote, but can a rabbit hurt you? Can a rabbit provide you with all your nutrients? Can a squirrel do that? No. They can practically do nothing to you. They practically are at your mercy. And what do you choose to do? You go out there and you squash their little lives. You make sure that they are screaming in pain. You know how many times I've been in the country and all I've heard was get him, get him, get him, and all I've heard was the dogs howling, woo! And then what is happening? In the middle of all that chaos is some innocent animal that was going about his way. And here we are, the most intellectual, the most intelligent, the most advanced, the greatest species to ever walk the planet Earth, right? And we can't even stop that. We can't even stop that. What is wrong with you, right? What is wrong with you, seriously? Why do you think that is even appropriate? Does that look civilized to you? Does that sound civilized to you? People out there, let me make sure I got on my vest and my hat so I can go out there and I can hunt these damn animals. You are traveling all the way to other countries to hunt animals. Think about the Oriental fish markets. They think about how many billions and billions of fish get killed yearly, so that way these people can eat fish. That way they can chop them up and eat them alive, eat them raw. What are we doing? Does that not sound disturbing to you? Think about the steroids that they put these animals on. Think about all the neglect and the torture that these animals have to go through. What did a chicken do to you to have to suffer this much? But then you want to go watch dinosaur movies. You want to protect an endangered bird, but then you want to create a multiplicity of birds for you to suffer, for you to make suffer, for you to torture, for you to eat, for you to make your servant, for you to just eliminate all the free will of all the animals, the little bit of free will that they do have, the little bit of free will, the tiny bit of free will that anything can have, you eliminate it. You come through. You are the most advanced thing on this planet when it comes to intellectual capabilities and manipulation of other materials on this earth. You do the most of that, and you don't care. But then we think a God would care about us. We think aliens would care about us. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if aliens came here and enslaved us. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if the Anunnaki really did get tired of hearing us, if the Elohim really did want to flood Earth, if all this stuff really was possible, that all these beings that visit us supposedly, hypothetically, in whatever case you want to put it, if anything were to happen in the future, if anything happened in the past, I wouldn't be shocked if it was against us. I wouldn't be shocked. Because if we are the example of the prime intelligence, of the benevolence and the malevolence of the universe, right? If we are an example of benevolence and the malevolence of the universe, and this is what it is, this is all your benevolence can bring, this is all, it's really more malevolence than benevolence, because if it was so benevolent, then, well, most of you would just stop doing what you're doing on a daily basis and change, because you see the cognitive dissonance when you're petting your dog but then you're eating a hog. Why hunt the lion but then you got a pet cat at your house? You will own, how about this, people will own a Savannah cat. You will own a Savannah cat, which is a hybrid of a serval and a domesticated cat. You will own a Savannah cat, but then you will kill a serval? You will shoot down a bobcat, or you will own a cat that looks like a bobcat and brag about how much it looks like a bobcat. You will own a husky, but then you will shoot down a wolf. You will shoot down a coyote in cold blood. These animals cannot do anything to you if you are in your proper mental state and if you are properly prepared for the situations that can arrive before you on this planet. You know the dangers of these animals. You have textbooks. You have encyclopedias. You have all the information. Zoology exists. Biology exists. Geology exists. You understand how the land can work. You understand how biology can work. You understand how animals can work. You understand these things, or at least you should be able to. You should be able to understand these things, but you don't care. You don't care. You don't care to understand these things. You don't care about the people around you. You don't care about the animals around you. And then you expect me to believe that you believe in God. You expect me to believe that you think that aliens are nice. Aliens are going to be so, oh, they have a galactic council and they want to save us. They're trying to save us from what? From ourselves? We're the biggest threat to each other and to everything on this planet. And if there was anything nearby this planet, we'd probably be the biggest threat to that if it was beneath us. That's the truth. The hard and raw truth, the harsh truth, the real truth about humanity is that if we don't change, we are just as horrible as the people that we claim were horrible in the past. We're going to be looking at this in the future and say, look how horrible we were in 2026. We talk about how horrible people were thousands of years ago, hundreds of years ago, even 50 years ago. Well, how horrible are you today compared to how we can be tomorrow? Think about that. How much of a hypocrite are you today about the past in which that your descendants are going to be looking at you sideways? Think about it. We even don't care about children. We will sit here and allow people to misuse children. The Epstein files and all that other stuff, right? All these cases where people have abused children. I'm not saying go out here and do anything to somebody that may have a mental disorder, that may have anything going on with them, because I've seen videos that I think are very messed up. But at the same time, we are sitting here allowing people that have done things that are reproachable, that are detestable, that are despicable. We have allowed them to get away with these things, but the innocence, we will charge the innocents. We will make the innocent suffer, but we'll let the guilty walk away. The guilty get to walk away with glee, while the innocents are indoctrinated into believing that they are not innocent, that they are not victims, right? Why? Tell me this. Why is it that women think they're more important than babies? Why do men think they're more important than babies, right? Why is it that anybody thinks they're more important than anybody else's life? Why does your life matter than anybody else's life? Why, if it's really gonna be Black lives matter, white lives matter, Asian lives matter, so all lives matter, right? Why don't we include animals in that? That they are alive. Do we forget that they're alive? Why are we putting tiers of importance or a hierarchy on what we care about? If things are alive, if something is alive and is conscious and it can experience suffering, why don't you care enough about that? Just that. It is alive and it can experience suffering. Get to everything else after that. It is alive and it can experience suffering. Care about that first. Don't cause it to suffer. Don't lie on it. Don't tell me that it deserves to suffer for some made up reason. You hate snakes. Why do you hate snakes? Because your devil, your fake devil that you can't prove exists, that you have never seen, that you have hallucinations about, that you have delusions about, your fake snake devil, in which snakes, you don't even understand the spirituality behind snakes. You hate snakes because of your religious indoctrination, but you also hate snakes because of innate human behaviors and our relations to snakes, right? But you do realize you're not in that situation anymore, right? You're not living in the wild and able to succumb to snakes as we usually would have when we were living in the wild, apparently, in deep antiquity. You are not in that scenario anymore. You can escape. You can leave the situation. The snake is not cornering you. Why do you hate snakes? The snake is not the devil. Get Genesis chapter 2 out of your mind. The snake is not the devil. When they say a serpent, they are literally demonizing other gods because other gods were serpentine. Other gods represented bovines. Other gods represented other things, even like fish. Fish, right? Dagon was represented by fish. Did you know that? But who was also represented by fish? Yahweh and Yeshua and Enki and other gods. Why do we make fish suffer? Why do you make fish suffer? It's the national sign for Christianity. I've seen it on a bunch of Christian trucks. Imagine how many fish they have let suffer, and they got a fish on the back of their truck. Oh, but this is to be in reference for when our God fed us fish. He fed us manna. Prove it. Prove it. Prove it. I'm getting tired of it. Prove it. Prove any of these miracles happen. Prove that animals deserve to suffer. Prove that innocence does not exist. Prove all of that. Prove original sin. Prove that before you sit out here and tell me that we have to succumb and be okay and subject it to suffering and allow suffering to exist around us and allow it to run our society, to run everything into the ground. We let things suffer because of our hubris and our ignorance and our cognitive dissonance. You eat cows and you don't understand the significance of cows spiritually. Maybe that'll stop you from eating cows. What? You don't care about them suffering. Maybe you eat cows because you think that Satan is a cow too, right? Because you have contradictory beliefs. One minute the devil or Satan is a serpent. The next minute it's a cow. It's a bull. But then you forgot that your God symbology is related to bulls and sheep and all that stuff. Pastoral and shepherd-like things, right? The good shepherd is contradictory. It's contradictory. It's so silly. It's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. You can go watch Jurassic Park. You can go watch The Meg. You can go watch all of these things, but you kill birds, you kill chicken, you kill sharks, you kill whales. You make everything suffer. You make everything worse when you could make everything better. You could literally do the work. You could do the research. You could learn things that could protect you and protect everything around you. But instead of doing that, you'd rather be a hypocrite. Instead of doing that, you'd rather see suffering. You'd rather see people and see things, see animals, see the creatures that you claim God created suffer and die, all for what you need, all for what you want, all for what you claim, and you can't even prove any of your claims. Your fear of snakes is irrational in the state that you live in today. Your fear of bulls is contradictory. You don't fear bulls, you have a contradictory idea of bulls. Your devil does not exist. I'm not going to say that your God does not exist. That's taking it too far. If the gods are real, if God is real, I think that you have disappointed these beings. They would be very disappointed. These are higher beings that wouldn't be aliens, that wouldn't be humans. They'd be higher transcendent beings, right? If gods are real, if angels are real, why are you acting like a demon? Why are you being a devil? But then claiming to praise God, claiming to love something that's all good and all loving and all caring, right? But you don't. You're not that. You're made in the image of God, but you're not reflecting the image of God. You're reflecting the devil that you claim that you believe in. The devil wants to kill, steal, and destroy. What do? You kill innocent life, right? You destroy habitats, right? You destroy people, right? You see what I'm talking about, right? You steal people, right? You enslave people, right? The Bible justifies this too. You can enslave people according to the Bible, but you ignore that too, right? Justice should be justified. What we need should be made a necessity, and it should be made clear. And it should not have to cause any suffering or chaos to any other creature or to any other being that is in existence. If we can live in harmony, let's live in harmony. If we can't, then we are just horrible.